Patriots. Welcome to Hope for Survival YouTube. Appreciate you tuning in. This video will be HFS news break number 3. And I do believe this will be video number 159 for the Hope for Survival YouTube channel. So if you're just now subscribed and tuning in, you can go through all the videos and you'll find numerous assortments of types of videos, from news breaks to thoughts to mindset to canning, building security plans, comm plans, and things of that nature. So take your time, go through, enjoy, share with friends, and make yourself at home. So I'm on the road again. I'm in northern Alabama, and I'm at my home away from home, which is makes it fairly comfortable for me here in the days that I'm here. Miss Lucy packs a cooler for me with my food, since I don't really like going out to eat, and I prefer eating here in my suite or my room, because the time that when I'm down here in the evenings, I go in and I work. I arrive in the morning and I work about 7 or 8 hours. Then I check in and stay the evening, and then I'll have food for 3 or 4 evenings here, and in that time I can work on the newsletter, I can do YouTube videos, and answer emails, and check out the news, watch videos on skills, learning skills, relearning skills, learning new ideas for skills, and then if you're a person of faith, you'll understand, and that is taking some time to devote to reading scripture in the evenings, and then start each day. The place I'm staying at does provide a really nice free breakfast, so I hit the breakfast, take it to work with me, and I'm usually there 8 to 10 hours a day, and then come back here and start it all over again. But the little suite that I'm staying in has a super nice king-size bed and a bathroom and a kitchenette with refrigerator, stove, microwave, dishwasher, all the utensils and dishes and things that are needed. And then it's got a little living room with sofa and TV and things of that nature. And I'm usually about 4 miles from where I work at, so it makes it very, very convenient. And also, depending on my schedule and available time, I will often try monthly at least to hook up with Hope for Survival Patriots here in the area while I'm here, to go have dinner and kind of personalize the relationship and the trip here. And honestly, if it didn't take so much time writing the newsletter and setting up Zoom for the next session and doing the videos and things of that nature, it would free up more time to go spend time with folks. But that's just kind of the nature of the business. So anyway, when I'm away from home, this is my my bug out home, if you will. But it's very nice, and I'm pretty blessed to be able to have these accommodations. I wanted to give a quick thank you out. I haven't had a chance to send thank you emails yet, but we are in our monthly Hope for Survival donation drive. We're about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days into the donation drive, and we're just below 25% of our goal for funds for the year to maintain operations for Hope for Survival. But for those of you who donated, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And everyone's special, and you're very special for making that sacrifice to donate to this cause. And I'm forever grateful to you for doing that for us. So thank you. So getting into some news items that I kind of picked out for this news break, things that caught my attention. 50% of applicants applying for credit cards, homes, and cars, 50% are being denied a loan. And this is since the feds started increasing the rates in March of 2022. This can have a chain reaction. It also signifies on the credit card portion that many folks have maxed out their existing credit cards, and they're applying for consolidated loan cards or additional cards, and this is how and what they're living off of, which is eventually going to run out. You can't rob Peter to pay Paul. And we talk about one of the top goals in preparedness is that you should do everything you can to get out of debt. And for many of these folks, it's going in the opposite direction. So the short and even long-term ramification of this is when folks can't go spend to buy food and items to survive, it will start impacting the retail chains. So there's kind of a clash of the titans from both ends. Folks are not going to have the money to buy, and supply chain issues are causing problems of putting resources into the stores for the consumer to purchase. So more to come on that. Networking. I wanted to talk about networking. In the past, we've talked about networking with your neighbors, networking to build communities. And some of you live in suburban and urban areas, maybe apartments. We're coming up on spring and summer. I would encourage you to go to farmers markets, and I would encourage you to start making friends with the farmers. Buy goods from them. But I would encourage you to make friends with them and then try to work it out to where you can go to their farms and tell them you will give them labor to learn skills from them. Okay? Now, in some locations, it's sweltering heat. It's going to be tough. Learning these skills is priceless, and if you build that bond of trust, I know that the farmers would appreciate your help learning skills around their farms. But the golden nugget here is when the time comes that things crash, you're stuck in an urban or suburban environment. You may have befriended enough that if you need to get out of a city environment, they're still going to need help on their properties. That you may be able to befriend them enough that you could go to their farm, even if it means relocating and staying in a barn to earn more trust from them. If you don't work it now, it won't work then. Okay? So give it a shot. Okay? It's a great opportunity on both ends. But remember, trust is earned. All right? It's not simply given. You have to earn this trust, just as you they should work to earn your trust as well. So just be cautious, maybe stand back and monitor the person at the farmer's market, see how they treat other people and things of that nature. Maybe even find out what's the name of their farm. Maybe do your own little research on them. Do a drive-by, take a look at the place, and then if you decide to go forth, you're kind of doing your own vetting of the farm and the farmer. Okay? Crime and looters. We've talked about the possibility of, the fact that many of the countries south of us are dumping their violent criminals out of the prisons onto the pathway to the great red, white, and blue, and they're coming here. Okay, and we've talked about the crime that this is going to cause in America. We've also talked about crime from the perspective of your neighbors and your communities. Okay, but something that needs to be added to that is some of these folks who are crossing the borders aren't necessarily violent criminals. They are in fact looking for a better way of life, possibly. We don't know that, but we can assume that a percentage of them are hardworking, honest people. But when the work runs out and they don't have money, and the government aid runs out, and they have families to feed, crime and looting is going to skyrocket. Okay, and they're going to be looking for food and water to feed their families. So, does your sympathy mean giving up your food that is meant for feeding your family? I think it's something we've talked about, and we've run scenarios in our head. The what ifs. What if they show up at the door and it's freezing cold or it's pouring rain and there's two parents standing there with 6 kids? Have you made a decision, and do you have the ability to shut the door and not offer them help? And then if you decide to offer them help, then that opens up a whole new avenue of things you need to consider. Remember, trust is earned. It's not an automatic given. So one of the things we have talked about, and you can go to the video, I believe, called Security in Depth at some point in the past here on YouTube. And we've talked about it in the newsletter, and we've also talked about it in our Thursday Zoom sessions. And that is, in all these cases, you need to always remember the 5 Ds of security, okay? And that is deter, detect, deny, delay, and defend. And in all these scenarios, you need to memorize the 5 Ds, okay, and apply them. One of the scenarios that we ran in a Thursday night Zoom about a year ago was, for those of you who have land, you may have large gardens, farm animals. We talked about you and your family setting up a plan, or your community, whatever your situation may be. You may be out working on the land within a shouting distance from your house. But if you're running equipment or something, it's going to be hard to hear. But if a problem comes to your door, and your wife or a child is in the home, and a problem comes to your door, criminals come to your door and they're trying to get in, you need a mechanism that the person in the home can sound the alarm to get your attention, or if you're in a community, that you can sound the alarm to get help from your community to come to your aid. If you look in, I've posted this, I believe, on YouTube and in the newsletter, but if you look in Hope for Survival, Book 1, How Food, Water, Shelter, Security Could Save Your Life. I have charts built in there with samples of alerting matrices that you can use to have like day to day, and then increase up to maximum threat that you can tailor to the needs of your area. Okay, but something as simple as a couple bucks to buy air horns that you can squeeze 3 blasts to get the attention of your loved one that you need help immediately. Okay, so give that some thought. There was a recent FBI report, I believe yesterday, talking about an Iranian assassin. They stated that terrorists are entering the southern border freely. Yeah. And these individuals who are crossing the border, there is a possibility of terrorists being amongst them. I wonder how many brain cells they burnt coming to this conclusion. So, you know, I'm thinking, you know, Twinkies and Ding Dongs are also fattening, right? An Iranian named Majid Farahari. He's a former Iranian intelligence officer. He is recruiting assassins to support him to terminate current and former U.S. government officials. And something to keep in mind is in 2023, border agents arrested 169 wanted individuals, foreign individuals that were on the FBI watch list. 169, that's how many they caught. So if you have 50 to 100,000 a week crossing the border, how many do you think they missed? So so that makes the FBI in the last 6 months, 3 months, the FBI put out bulletins of the possibility at the highest level of terrorist cells attacking, and then they came out with the high probability of cyber attacks occurring, and now we have this alert on assassins of politicians. Keep all 3 of these in the back of your mind, okay? Usually when there's announcements like this, they are pre-indicators, okay? It is also to start creating fear amongst the populace. You see, if you, in the recent years, if you go back to, say, 911, or even Katrina, but 911 specifically, when the event occurred, it sucked Americans, it sucked the world into watching the tube, the television, right? And everyone was watching every move on the government's part. Then the government came, the Capitol came out and held arms and sang Kumbaya, and everyone was all red, white, and blue, except for those that hate us, which there's many. So basically, when our politicians said shake your head up and down, everyone behind their TVs all across America were shaking their heads up and down. My point is dependency. Stay grounded, keep your feet on the ground, be level-headed, don't fall for everything, and make sure you think for yourself. Do your homework, okay? This is why pre-planning now, having a community and having skills, getting good information, processing it, determining what is real, throwing out the rest, and having a good vetting program is so important. The U.S. has deployed a new prototype weapon system over into the Middle East. It's an anti-drone device, and instead of using rockets and missiles, it's using laser technology. So short-term expensive, long-term cost savings from what it cost, and also remember that little birdie in the back who told us that the U.S. has basically depleted munitions. So we're now going to revert to laser technology, which was already in existence, but used for other things. The Men in Black, the Supreme Court, or SCOTUS, has blocked a Texas law that would allow the arrest of immigrants in Texas. It's called SB 4. That was supposed to go into effect, I think this week, but the Supreme Court has blocked it until March 13th. And this would allow state law enforcement officials in county to arrest immigrants crossing the border, crossing through the state of Texas. The federal government filed an appeal to it. The Supreme Court blocked it till the 13th. So we want to be watching to see what conclusions come out of this. This Judge Alito is the one who wrote the reasoning as to why they blocked it. It basically comes down to what a district judge had said. There was not an army invading across the border. Granted, in some how it was worded was that the state was being invaded by migrants, and the argument is between an army of migrants versus an actual army. So this should be interesting to see. Elon Musk warned something worse than 911's coming. The Biden administration is flying plane loads of unvetted immigrants into 43 different U.S. cities in 2023 and currently. And this is a recipe for disaster. They're basically picking them up south of the border. They're transporting them into Texas, where they're putting them aboard planes. I believe Swift Air is the company contracted. And then out of Texas, they're flying them to 43 different locations around America. And if you want to learn more on this, I would encourage you to, if you have time, check out another veteran podcaster named Monkey Works, W-E-R-X. And he often shows the flights and where they're going to. So you can check that out. The last thing I have for you is for those of you who are of the praying type, if you would be so kind, pray for all of our veterans, but specifically, we'll call him veteran number 1, okay, to protect his identity. I have a friend who, an acquaintance. I have an acquaintance who is a veteran who is 39 years old, and he was deployed to Iraq, and he was exposed to something that is still unnamed that severely damaged his lungs. And since that time, he has lung damage. He had no migraines before. He now has 13 to 16 migraines a month. He can't be in areas where there's overhead lighting because it triggers seizures, but he's not epileptic. He has neuropathy in both hands and both feet, and he now has sleep apnea, and he has to take 13 pills a day to try to control these problems that he has. He has children, and he's trying to still work a full-time job when his health will allow him to do so. and he's caught up in a medical system that is basically treating symptoms and with no cure. And I will also say that he, in order to get this care from the medical system, he has taken all of the those and all of the post requirements. But he had all these symptoms prior to starting. Okay, he's a super guy, and these debilitations are just absolutely crippling the guy. And he's still going forth. He can't survive off of disability, and he's still trying to work full time, even with all these ailments. Really good guy. So if you could say a special prayer for him, and it would be much appreciated, I'm sure, by him, and I know I would appreciate it, as well as prayers for so many of our veterans who have ailments that are living off of prescriptions with no answers to problems. Okay, and as I said in the last news break, 2 years ago the suicide rate among veterans was 22 a day, and in the last 2 years it's gone from 22 to 44 a day. It's doubled. So please keep them in mind. So anyway, I've kept you here long enough. If you like this video, please hit like, share please. Thanks and welcome to the new subscribers. We appreciate you, and we're happy to have you here. And if you have not subscribed, ding 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 ding, reach up and hit the subscribe button to help us grow. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your faith, and just be vigilant out there. Things are just coming from every direction in so many different areas. We have a lot of our fellow countrymen who are suffering right now, and it's hard to look at them and tell them it's only going to get worse. So keep the faith, and more than anything, don't forget to give thanks. And thanks for being here. Bravo Echo out.